I'm gonna do a little Q&A. Rock the hair down, look. Welcome back to another episode of Huntourage TV. Tonight I'm gonna have some fun. This is not gonna be a typical video. It's gonna be something I've actually never done before. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Basically what I did is I opened up my Snapchat and I posted on Facebook, and I basically just asked if anybody wants to ask me a question. I'm gonna be doing a Q&A for a video tonight, and that's what I got going on. I've compiled a list of great questions that were sent to me via Snapchat and asked on Facebook. And so tonight, I'm just gonna have some fun, drink a couple beers, and try to answer a few questions. Some of these are actually pretty comical. A few people asked some serious questions, and then there's a couple of really good questions that are gonna dive into kind of what this YouTube channel is about, outdoor related, photography, filmmaking, things like that. So with that, I'm gonna just jump right into it. First question I got was from my buddy Drew. Shout out to Drew. Big old agate hunter. What is the best frozen pizza? Me personally, if I'm going with value and I'm gonna buy a bargain pizza, I would say that Jack's is the best. For about $2.50, $3, that's the best cheap pizza. Now, if we're going with overall best frozen pizza, I'm gonna probably have to go with a Lots of Matza. Hedgie's is very close. Hedgie's is up there, but I gotta give the edge to Lots of Matza. Those are my favorite pizzas right now, favorite frozen pizzas. DePines asks, do you brush your teeth with hot water or with cold water like a psycho? In all honesty, DePines, I never even considered brushing my teeth with hot water. You were the first person to ever show me that. We were turkey hunting down in Kansas about 7-8 years ago, and my mind was blown. Lauren asks, how are agates made? And actually, I'm gonna have to phone a friend on that one to get the explanation of how agates are made.
It's actually very scientific. I won't go into it right now.
Next question, my buddy Mike down in Iowa asks, what do they call French kissing in France? I don't know, I've never been to France. Sticking with my friends down in Iowa, my buddy Calvin asks, what's your favorite thing about YouTube? My favorite thing about YouTube as a consumer is the absolute plethora, the endless amount of content that YouTube has. I still can't fathom that people watch TV or Netflix or whatever when there's so much to watch on YouTube. I mean, you can literally go from watching a live concert to highlights of any basketball game or football game that's ever played. I like to watch hunting content, and I mean, there's all kinds of how-to videos. If I ever need to know how to do something, instead of Googling it, I just YouTube it, because somebody's probably got a tutorial video on YouTube explaining how to do it. Now, as far as my favorite thing about YouTube, as far as being a creator, what I would say is, compared to like television production, is that YouTube just gives you a ton more freedom. There's no specific guidelines as to what your content needs to be about, or how long it needs to be, or what kind of content you can use. So I really like the creative freedom that YouTube allows as a filmmaker. Next question, Craig asks, whilst filming clients, what is the best lighting? Front or back lighting? Whether I'm shooting stills or video, I prefer nice, even lighting. I typically shoot outdoors, so an overcast day with some nice sunshine shining through the soft clouds usually provides the best, most even lighting. Obviously today I'm using some pretty harsh lighting here in the apartment. You can see I got some pretty gnarly lighting going on. I'm actually pretty proud of this little set that I made, considering the lack of equipment I got. Vanessa asks, why photography? Well, photography, I never really imagined I'd be a photographer. In all honesty, when I went back to school, I was working in the corporate world, and I went back to school to become a filmmaker. I wanted to become a TV producer. My love for the camera, the reason I picked up the camera was to record my hunting adventures and in my mid-20s, I decided that I wanted to make a career out of it. I wanted to spend as much time in the outdoors, as much time in the woods, as much time doing what I loved as possible. And I figured, well, if there's a career where I can do that, it's probably going to be filmmaking. And as a filmmaker and photographer, my kind of goals and dreams and aspirations have kind of changed over the years. And I never really expected to be a photographer. I think that just kind of spawned out of buying a DSLR camera. And when I originally got into filmmaking, it was all about the camcorders, and I owned several camcorders. But in about 2012, kind of right when I started Night Owl Media Group, I bought my first DSLR, and photography just kind of happened. I've been pursuing photography. If you watch me on social media, photography seems like it's a big, important part, but it's kind of just the avenue where I've been making money. This year, I want to focus on filmmaking a lot more than photography. The reason I picked up a camera was for filmmaking, and this YouTube channel is all about filmmaking. And although I've made some money and gotten really good at photography, I'm not going to stop taking photos by any means, but I'm absolutely going to focus a lot harder this year on the filmmaking aspect of my creative side. Vanessa's next question, why van life? Well, I bought my van just a little over a year after I moved out to Colorado the first time, and while I was out there I met my buddy Dylan, and he was living van life, and that's really when my eyes were open to van life. I really never had considered it until I moved out to Colorado in 2018. Ultimately, I just decided I didn't want to live with roommates anymore. I didn't want to have to, I didn't want to be a victim to the current renting situation, and so I decided to get a van, which not only would I not have to pay rent, but it would also allow me a lot more freedom and the ability to travel and get more adventure in my life. The van life has been a lot of fun. I would highly recommend it. I definitely need to make more van life content on this channel for sure. I've recorded a lot of stuff that hasn't seen the airwaves now, and I'm hoping to put together some edits here very soon. Valerie asks, how long do you plan on living van life? Honestly, I don't know how much longer I plan on living van life. I was considering selling the van. I don't know, van life is just fun. I can't even say enough about van life. And then last but not least, my favorite question of the night, brought to you by Zach, my boy Zach. What's the best hunting experience or story that you've been a part of? The most seared into my brain hunting adventure I've been on was in 2011, the end of September. I spent a week up in the Rocky Mountains chasing elk. Prime rut, just absolutely beautiful, epic scenery. We were hunting in the Gallatin National Forest, the Custer National Forest, just south of Big Timber, Montana. And quite honestly, rut, mid to late September elk bow hunt anywhere in the Rockies is my absolute dream. And having moved out to Colorado now 2 times in the last 3 winters, it's been pretty remarkable to think that I haven't actually gone out there in the fall yet hunting. So the time I spent in Montana, I actually went on 2 elk hunting trips in 2011, and we got to go horseback riding throughout the mountains. I hunted with John Hirschbeck on a rifle hunt right around Halloween, early November. Got to film him shoot a big old bull. That was just an absolutely great time. But that was kind of fun, guys. I had a great time tonight. I didn't really drink that many beers. Give this video a thumbs up and leave me a question, leave me a comment. Do a part 2 on this video, and maybe a part 3. And if this becomes a type of hit, maybe we'll do these on a regular basis. But cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.